See, I told you we were not a drama channel. Yesterday we got some news from Riot. And thank God for that, because otherwise I would be talking about how the leakers ruined Briar's teasers. And also how some people are worried about Briar because they heard her voice. She's not as creepy as people hoped. But that's not important for now, because we got news. And in fact, we got some good news. I'm pretty sure you didn't expect that. So, Brightmoon and Meddler came back yet again for another dev update about League of Legends. As always, in these videos they are being as transparent as humanly possible. So, among the first things they talk about Ranked. From some of the previous posts and devlogs, we know what kind of changes they are going for. Not to mention that some of the changes are already live. They realize that having a long year season is not ideal for multiple reasons. It is not great at retaining players and it is not good at delivering rewards. For many years with the old system, the cycle was always the same. A season would always start in January. A mid-season would come in with some bigger changes, but the rank wouldn't reset. And then the season would end after Worlds around November. This would then be followed up by a pre-season full of crazy experiments. Apparently, Riot's been happy with this cycle for a long time. At the very least, the season start and season end always lined up with other things happening around League of Legends. Especially when it comes to lining it up with hype events around esports. So the synergy with esports events has always been amazing. But they also recognize opportunities for improvement. For example, the 10 months long grind simply felt too long. Also, there was always a strange downtime near the end of the year, where people couldn't play ranked even if they wanted to. And overall, it was a long cycle till the next big League of Legends change arrived. So that's why in 2023 they already started with the faster ranked climb, and they set it up for the mid-year reset. So far, overall, they agree this system is working well, and they like how this faster pace can align with other things, such as events, I assume. So based on how things are rolling out, the future is looking bright for ranked. And to confirm it, as well as to give us more details, we got pew pew lasers coming in. And get ready, because the chances are, if you're still addicted to League, you will love what you're about to hear. Specifically, we got news about the preseason and the splits. As we know, League is now moving into a 3-split system. In other words, every year we get 3 whole ranked seasons. So in these shorter bursts of ranked, every game should feel more impactful, climbing should be faster, but you also get 3 chances to get ranked skins. Which means that I should apologize. In our last video where we talked about the $200 Jhin skin, I mentioned that League never really had any earnable skins for free. I did mention how you get free random skin shards every now and then, but I honestly totally forgot about Victoria skins. That is totally my bad. That's what I get for being successfully sober from ranked for many years. So yes, you'll be able to earn 3 Victoria skins per year now. Anyway, the important part is, this is going to affect how preseason works. In the past, Riot always had a massive issue. Every year around October, preseason hit PBE, which gave people a lot of time to play with all the new changes. In fact, they got so much time that by the time it hit live servers, all the new changes to League of Legends no longer felt new. So the hype behind preseason and the hype behind climbing ranked at the beginning of a new season never aligned. So in 2023 and moving forward, preseason will hit PBE later. It's going to be in mid-November, with the official release still being January, which is going to be on the same patch when the season and esports begin. On top of that, the last split of the year will continue into December. So now, ranked will be playable in the absolute majority of the entire year. Now, because this system is still new, Riot mentioned that they will try and be more careful with the meta. Because everything is moving faster, they will need more adjustments for every split. So we'll see how quickly they will be able to change things. Here, Pew Pew Lasers directed us to a separate dev post. There they talk about all of the ranked changes. After going through it, I can confirm it pretty much just summarizes what was said in this video. But they do go into greater details on all the dates. So the most important part is at the very top, the key info. It's the fact that the current split will be extended to January the 3rd, Season 2024 gameplay changes will hit PBE on November 20th, all of these changes will go live on patch 14.1 on January the 5th, the split will then begin on January the 9th, which means that Ranked will be down for only about a week. Then Split 2 will begin in May and Split 3 will begin in September. But that's really it. So far, it's not that exciting, is it? Well, Lasers then talked about specific parts of the preseason that we will see, which is where things start getting a bit more interesting. First of all, he mentioned that there will be some terrain adjustments, which, in my opinion, have always been a big deal. Every time a piece of the Summoner's Rift changes, the players can feel it the most. Sometimes even more than changes to entire systems like runes or items. But of course, that all depends on what kind of terrain is actually changing. I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I still really appreciate these changes. Though the way Pew mentioned it here, I don't think they are going for any massive changes. I'm still hopeful though. He then mentions that there will be some changes to objectives, which that's a pretty general statement, so I have no idea what they are going for. Honestly, it could be just some changes to bounties and the values from Dragons and Baron. But then he mentioned significant changes to the item system, which has been a very heated topic for quite a while now. A lot of people are not massive fans of mythic items. Earlier this year, even Riot said that they weren't really happy with how the system landed. And they even mentioned that they would be open to the idea of just removing the entire system if it didn't give people interesting builds. And, well, to quote them, it didn't. So starting in January 2024, all mythic items will be gone. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna appreciate it. The issue was that they were trying to serve all kinds of champions with all kinds of item progressions. Not every champion has the same kind of linearity. And after a lot of work, they managed to give about half of the roster some interesting options. But for the other half, the entire system just didn't work at all. And everyone was simply building the same items every game. This especially became true for mages. With that said, while the mythic tier is being removed, some of the mythic items that people really loved are staying. They will just be turned back into normal items. So, as Riot mentioned, you should be looking forward to seeing the classic Infinity Edge and Trinity Force coming back. Now, this was just a taste of what is coming. And they mentioned that they will give us the full reveal soon, so we have no idea when that's coming. But that's all we got on that front. So next we went back to Meddler and Bright Moon, who gave us even more good news that will be appreciated by even more players. For example, they talked about Arena and what's gonna happen after Soul Fighter. They mentioned that they were all excited about the feedback they got. But they also recognized some of the opportunities to make the arena better. As was previously mentioned, the first round of Arena will go down with Soul Fighter. But then, after it's taken down, Riot will update it and give it some adjustments. In fact, they confirmed they are already working on it. And the next version will drop in early December. That is way sooner than I expected. I was totally waiting for the arena to come back in 2024. But nope, we are getting the second round this year, which actually feels incredible. I still believe that Arena is an amazing game mode for the casual audience. And for many, it may even be the game mode to play. And Bright Moon confirmed some of the things they are looking into when it comes to the future iterations. They are open to anything, but mainly they are focusing on adding in more augments, so they can improve the game-to-game variety. There will be some changes to champions to make them more viable. Now, in my opinion, there were only very few champions who didn't do that well. It really felt like every champion could be used for some specific comps, although some were obviously more flexible than others. And they even mentioned there will be some map adjustments. Which is great, because I definitely noticed there were some issues where some maps had some strange advantages on certain sides. And lastly, they mentioned that there will be some ways that will allow you to play with more than just one of your friends. However, the one thing I am a bit sad wasn't mentioned are new arenas. I believe Arena has a massive potential of delivering new environments into this kind of a rotating game mode. It would really give you a great variety every time a new version of the Arena arrived. But maybe they are working on them, maybe they are just not going to arrive in December, because let's be honest, that's still very soon. So who knows, maybe there will be more arenas in the future. But here's the thing, I think we can all agree that more work on Arena is awesome. So, Riot decided to go further, because on top of updating Arena, Riot is also working on another game mode and they will give it a chance to shine again. Yes, Nexus Blitz is coming back. And that one is coming in October for 5 weeks. That's even before the second round of Arena. Some people have really been looking forward to this one. It didn't matter what video it was, every time we talked about Arena, there were people in the comments who were like, "Oh, this is the most boring game mode ever, I can't wait for Nexus Blitz to come back, that was my favorite game mode ever." Well, here you go, buddy. It is your turn to have fun now. Riot then mentioned that they did promise Nexus Blitz coming back in 2022. But they couldn't deliver on it. I assume it's because in 2022 Riot actually lost a lot of employees. So, in the returning version, Nexus Blitz will be similar to what we already know. But there will be some tweaks. And they specifically mentioned changes to jungle items. So yes, Nexus Blitz is coming back, and it is coming back very soon. Rejoice, everyone! In other news, Riot also gave us an update on AI. No, not that kind of AI. We are talking about bots. The good kind. Last time Riot mentioned that they are working on new AI, and this time they are showing us what they made. They made a new kind of bots that will be hitting PvE soon. They are very easy because they are aimed at simulating opponents for new players. So most people will crush them. But they should be a lot smarter. So even though they are not going to be challenging, they are still looking for feedback on these. There is also an entire dev post that talks about all the details. Here we learned that the bots will arrive on PvE in September or October, and we learned that the new bots have been trained for jungling, ganking, supporting each other, they have proper selection with summoner spells, and they learned how to take objectives such as dragons or baron. Funnily enough, in the past, the bots never did any of this. And at the end they confirmed that after they get these bots online, they will start looking into higher difficulties. Which means, maybe, we're gonna see Doom bots one day. That's really not confirmed, I'm just on copium. But that's where the dev updates end. Here they mentioned that next time we will get some news on new champions, as well as Skarner, who is still planned to release early next year, but also Jax, who will get his visual and audio updates. Those should be revealed around September, so any week now. But that's it. Overall, these updates are really good. We got some good news about the ranked systems, we got some great news about the new item systems, and we learned that all the casual players who enjoy wacky game modes should be very happy now. I can't believe we are getting Nexus Blitz and Arena so soon again. So if you ask me, this still sounds like a pretty big W to me. And we all know Riot really needed one. The chain of misfortunes was really getting ridiculous. Though I do have to mention that in one of Riot's replies, they did say that they would talk about the $200 skin for Jhin. They mentioned a dev update, so maybe it's gonna be the next one, or maybe it's just gonna be a dev post. And that would release after they gather all the data. As well as the big bag of money.